Well, welcome to this demonstration of table lists using App Maker by Isoperla. And we'll start off by adding a new app called People. There we go, and then we go into design mode. Now, the standard mode in design mode is to be in freestyle mode, but we want a table list, so we need to be in table mode. So on the page settings, we need to change it to table. There we are. And then we give the page a title, and in this case we'll just call it People List. There we go. Now then, you see that the number of controls we can pick from has gone from a long list to just one item on the list, which is a list item. And we drag that onto the page, and we can make small changes to it. We can alter the difference between the relationship between the image and the text. Make the image a bit bigger in this case, and we'll create this one for Steve Jobs. Why not? And Steve Jobs, we don't have an image imported into the app at the moment, so we'll import one in. There we go, we're just taking that from the camera roll, and we click the little tick, and that's now created us a nice list item with Steve Jobs on it. So we'll create another list item. In this case we'll do one for Gandhi, and so I've set the label length to long again, just to change that relationship between the image size and the text. Change the text to Gandhi there. And in the third example, instead of dragging on a new control, I'll clone the existing control, and that's cloned one of the Gandhi, the Gandhi item for me. And I can just then change the image and the placeholder text. And there we are. We've got 3 items in our list. We could drag on and pretty much as many as we wanted to. We've only got 3 in this case. But now we need some pages for these items to link to. So I'll add a new page, and I'll add this one for Steve Jobs. And that's created a freestyle page, a normal page, and this is where we just drag on the whole suite of controls that are available to us in App Maker, as opposed to just list item controls. And I'll drag on an image control. I'll move it to where I want it to be, which is at the top of the page. There we go, and I can then pick the images or image that I want. In this case it's a picture of Steve Jobs. Here we are, and I'll drag on a little edit box, and I'll set the label to name, and I'll set the actual value inside of it to Steve Jobs. And I'll also I'll set it to read only, so the user can't change it. So this is just for display purposes. And you see that that's kind of not quite what we want it to look like. I need to make it a little bit bigger to fit that label in of name. There we go, that's a little bit nicer. Okay, let's make that a little bit bigger on the right hand side as well. And that looks fine. Okay, so that's our page for Steve Jobs, but there's no link between the list item Steve Jobs and the page for Steve Jobs at the moment. And the way we link them together is a page setting called the tag, and the tag is a way of identifying this particular page. So we'll give this page the tag of Jobs, and then I'll hop back to the list screen, go into the list item for Steve Jobs, and change the go-to tag to Jobs, and that sets up the relationship between those 2 items, that item there and the page that it links to. So when I run it, and this is now in run mode, it then does that linking between the list item and the page. But the other pages aren't linked to at the moment. So there we go again, the Steve Jobs page. So I need to go back into design mode, and this time I'll set the page up for Gandhi. But I need to first create a page, and this time I'll clone the Steve Jobs page because it's got the format that I want, and that's cloned it. So now we have 2 pages for Steve Jobs, one called Steve Jobs, and the other one, page settings again, called Gandhi. Now then, I need to set up this cloned page to be for Gandhi, so there we go. And I'll change the image obviously to In this case, I'll allow multiple images, and I'll put in two images for Gandhi, and you just scroll between the images when you're in run mode. And the text obviously needs to be Gandhi in there as well. There we are. Okay, so just to check the page settings again, and our tag of Gandhi, so that when we go to our list item for Gandhi, I go to tag Gandhi, and that will then link those two pages together. So back to run mode again, into people, click on the Gandhi item, and it goes to the Gandhi page. Now you see, if I use the back button there, it's going to go back through all of my pages, which isn't quite what I want it to do. I want it to go to the first page when you click the back button. So on the page settings again, this is for the Steve Jobs page, I set on the back button, go to the first page, and the next button, which is the one on the right hand side, hide that because it's not going to take me anywhere. And I'll do the same thing for the Gandhi page. So the back button is the first page, and the next button is hidden. So when I go into run mode now, I run these, I go to the Gandhi page, and you can see that the back button takes me to the first page. Similarly with the Steve Jobs, the back button takes me to the first page, but the right button is missing, is hidden. So that's table lists using AppMaker by Isoperla.